Hello people, so this is a super quick video which gonna let us know about these four terminologies that we often use in machine learning and data science, but sometimes we miss out the exact meaning behind these terms. So let's see. So first we'll see about the loss function and the cost function. So the cost function is also known as error function, and both helps us to evaluate the performance of our model, or you can say how our algorithm models the data. Both takes a model's predicted output and the actual output and calculates how wrong the model is doing in its prediction. But there are differences between these two functions, which segregates these two terms. So let's see. So the loss function, it calculates error for individual data points. You can say for one sample in a training set, and the cost function, it calculates average error for n samples in the data, or you can say for the whole training data set. So in short, loss function is calculated for every instance in training set, and the cost function is calculated for the entire training data set. And hence we can say that the loss function is usually defined on a data point, prediction, and label, and measures the penalty. And the cost function is an average of the loss functions, so average loss over entire training data. So these key points will be more clear through this diagram. So let's say we have n samples in our training data set. So for a single training cycle, the loss function will be calculated for all the n instances in the training data, and hence the average of all these loss functions, or you can say loss over the entire training data, it will give us the cost function. So loss is, you can see that here the loss is being calculated numerous times for every instance in the training data, but the cost function is only calculated once because it's it's an average of loss function. So let's see example. So let's take linear regression model. So what is loss and cost function for linear regression model? So for loss function, we have squared error or squared loss. You might have seen the formula, the squared difference between the actual and the predicted output. And the cost function, through definition, what we saw earlier, is the average of the loss function. So you can see here the mean squared error is a cost function for linear regression model. So now we'll see the objective function. We often hear, what's the objective function? So it's a function that we optimize, and it's a general term used for any function that we optimize while training our model. Either you can say we want to minimize or maximize, but in general term it's a function that we optimize. So for example, we can take maximum likelihood estimation. This algorithm, which is used for estimating the parameters in many machine learning models, regression, classification, but one common example is logistic regression model. So there you might have heard about this maximum likelihood estimation framework. So in simpler term, we can say that objective function, it's either we are minimizing or maximizing, unlike the cost or the loss function, where we tend to only minimize. Therefore, if we want to conclude, we can say that a loss function is a part of a cost function, which in turn is a type of an objective function. And loss and cost functions are something that we want to minimize, and objective function is we want to optimize, either maximize or minimize. So that's all. Thank you for your time, and stay tuned for more. And please do like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. See you again. Bye bye.